Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Incubator Weekly. Move that out of the way. CRM Science is the consultant or in-house consultants for the Incubator cohort number 2 this summer. And this is our weekly broadcast about current events, things that are going on, things we've learned here at the Salesforce headquarters. This week has been a lot of fun. Last week we did an off-site with all the participants where we kind of got together and shared our stories and learned how they got into the ecosystem, what are their goals and visions for their startup companies, and that was really revealing. And as well as having Dave Carroll, the original technical evangelist for Salesforce, come in and talk to us about upcoming DX, which is going to go into public GA next week. So to help me recount all these wonderful events and much more, allow me to introduce Kaush Ruparel of Hilo Studios. Kaush, welcome.
Hi, Sean. How are you?
I am well.
All right. Happy to be here.
Well, it's good to have you, my friend. So tell us a little bit about Hilo Studios.
Okay. So Hilo Studio is an
And be sure and speak up because we get audio issues with the iPhone.
All right. So Hilo Studio is a Salesforce App Exchange partner, and we are exclusively building application for the Salesforce Einstein analytics platform. And our lineage is built with Salesforce. Like, I come from Salesforce. I was part of the go-to-market team for Salesforce Wave analytics platform. When it launched, my group was responsible for helping out with build complex application and disseminate best practices. And last year, when Salesforce released an app framework for building applications on top of the analytics platform, a few of us decided to build some applications around some specific domain. And the first application that we are building is around revenue analytics. And the premise of this application is around to help sales teams for companies that run their sales. In conjunction with Salesforce, they have their sales team based around the actual revenue.
Oh, I see.
And just for the audiences who might not be familiar, is there are a lot of companies like manufacturing med devices or consulting companies that pay their sales reps on the actual revenue and not necessarily upfront at the booking.
So, I see. So it's a sales cycle that doesn't quite fit with maybe the model that we're used to with opportunities.
Right. So it's like, let's say a sales rep sells a $1 million machine to a customer.
That sales rep should get paid.
Well, they close the opportunity, but the company doesn't get paid till that big machine is built and shipped. That's one scenario. It could be that the order is for a longer duration, maybe a year-long duration, and there are shipments every month. That's when the company starts getting paid, and typically that's when the sales rep get paid as well. So there are companies that need to do, along with opportunity analytics, they want to do revenue analytics, and they do those in 2 silos. What Einstein Analytics platform does is it makes it super easy and compelling to bring that information together in Salesforce on the cloud stack, on the reliable stack, and lets the team do analysis of their sales and their forecasts.
Now, did I hear you say Einstein Analytics instead of? I thought you were all about Wave.
Yeah. So recently there were additions to the Wave platform, more AI coming in to the platform in terms of enterprise data discovery.
Is that what brings you to the incubator this year then?
Yes. So kind of, yes. So this was when we started this company around last Dreamforce. Einstein wasn't announced yet.
Right.
And our idea was to build analytics application, but also build tooling around forecasting and help the sales team do intelligent forecasts. So in order to do that, we were going to build some predictive modeling and time series forecasting that would make the life of a sales manager or the entire sales organization easier by guiding them and help them do better forecasting. Right. So there are multiple aspects to the application we are building. One of them is to look at the historical data and determine historical forecast accuracy. which would allow the sales manager to make their own forecast. So let's say there might be sales reps sandbagging or being over optimistic,
Right.
but a manager has to account for those things when they create their forecast for the chain above.
So that's a perfect fit though, right?
Absolutely.
With the Einstein features that we're starting to see surface in the various clouds.
Yes. Yeah.
But particularly their purchase of BeyondCore, for example. Right now they have a wizard called Einstein Data Discovery, and they're still. And that's just an introduction to what's going to be available.
Right. So and that's a platform. So the best part of it is like you can build applications that are more close to the use case that you have. It's not going to be a bundled app with a set number of features that you use. This is going to be a platform that allows you to create. It will come with a set of tools that you could start with, but then you can extend it or customize it to suit your business needs. And that's how we are kind of right now focused on a niche which allows you to do kind of revenue forecasting and build application around revenue management.
So Hilo Studios has found a gap, and that you're filling, and you're leveraging Einstein, hence your participation in Incubator.
Right.
Nice. And so this week, then, we did the Tahoe thing. What did you learn about your fellow participants? Let me ask you.
Well, it was amazing.
Do you have a lot in common with the other participants, or?
Well, one thing common is that itch to do something, build something on your own for yourself, like not work for the man.
Not work for the man.
So for me
work
personally,
for the Salesforce man. That's okay.
For me personally, it's been a long time coming. Like I came to US about like 13, 14 years ago.
Is that right?
And growing up in India, there was that itch to do something, but being in tech sector, it wasn't that easy to start your own company because there wasn't that kind of venture funding.
Right.
So the idea was, okay, let's build some skill set. If there's a chance to go to US and start a company there. Well, everything worked. I came here, only to realize that I can't start my company with the kind of visa that I had. So I had to wait all this while till I was able to do something on my own, and an opportunity presented last year. I tied up with Greg Lewis of Wave 6, which is a premier Salesforce consulting partner, and they were involved with Salesforce Analytics right before the launch. So actually, him and I worked on a pilot for GE Capital back then that was featured in the launch keynote. Like Mark actually demoed the application that I built. So
Mark, so like the Mark?
Benioff, yeah. So that's how we knew each other, and we've been in touch. And last year,
but that was a 10-year journey to get to that point.
It was a 3-year journey for with me and Greg. And like last year, decided, okay, it's time to go ahead and start the incubator, and things couldn't have lined up well. Like December time, we found out that Salesforce Incubator is going to be AI focused, and it kind of fit perfectly in our timeline. So
perfect.
I can't be.
No, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But that's what was amazing, hearing other people's journey into the incubator, and in general becoming an entrepreneur and starting their own company.
Because you're right, that was definitely one commonality, is that everyone here, well, ourselves included, right, have a drive to want to do something special, do something that brings value, right, and not work for the man. Now, I think not work for the man here means that, we want to be creative and innovative, right? Even if we're working for a big or small company, doesn't really matter. What matters is, are we bringing value in a creative way and being innovative, right?
Absolutely. And timing wise, I mean, I can't contain my enthusiasm. Like, I've been in technology before Y2K, couldn't get on that boom, couldn't get on .com.
Did you take some COBOL programming classes?
I wish I had done that, but no, I didn't. But right now, it feels like that's the time. Like last boom was the app boom for mobile application.
Right.
Right now, it seems like we are getting towards a phase where there's going to be a tremendous, like people are going to create a lot of cool, useful application using machine learning and AI. And I kind of feel excited, like this time around.
Yeah, right on.
I am going to be in that boom. So
Absolutely, absolutely. So the other thing that's we're on the cusp of,
Yeah.
the conference next week is the developer
Great
conference,
ideas,
DX
yeah.
conference, right? And at the same time, they're going to be announcing Salesforce DX. It's kind of been in pilot for a while, and in beta, and now they're going to be basically unveiling it. And Dave Carroll gave us a bit of a, for those of you who aren't familiar, Salesforce DX is a suite of features that are going to be released to make the lifecycle management of software development more in tune with the best practices in other platforms, right? And so that was super exciting. Does that touch your Hilo Studios at all? Or?
It does, it does. So we are building an application that is purely on the core platform called Hilo Plan. It is essentially kind of a collaborative forecasting on steroid.
Right.
So that's we're gonna hopefully leverage the DX platform and the DX methodology to build the application. Now, one thing that I came from a traditional Oracle, Java kind of background.
Sure, me too.
There was a certain way to build application for customers. Coming into Salesforce environment, it was completely different. Like you start with an org, build the application within the org, and then orchestrate your team in a way, in workflows in a way that you can work as a team. So it was slightly different.
Yeah.
But
and there are ways to do it. I mean, I've been on projects where we've been successful. I think what I found over time, even with the best practices, is there are certain gotchas.
Right. You need certain tribal knowledge to ramp up. I thought that was a barrier. Again, once you get over that hump, everything was clear.
Right.
But I think what DX is going to do is it's going to reduce that barrier, bring Salesforce development more in line with classic on-prem development methodologies, and I think that's going to be pretty widely well accepted. I mean, not only the current practitioners, but it's going to also bring in more devs, more partners into the fold.
I think there's no question about it. Yeah, there's no question about it. Actually, before I forget, the DX conference next week, we're going to be doing our Incubator Weekly live from the conference. Should be a good time.
Can't wait to join you. Just one more plug on that part. So Hilo Studios, specifically our CEO Greg Lewis, is going to be on a panel on Wednesday at 5:15, and Thursday Hilo Studio is going to be there at the booths in the Startup Valley.
Yep.
And we'll be demoing the analytics application that we have built. So come by.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're going to be at the conference, we CRM Science and all the participants, Hilo Studios and everyone else, are going to be our own little section at the conference called the Startup Valley, where you can come and talk about whatever you want to talk about our experiences, talk about what we're learning. We'd be happy to help you out. And so speaking of the incubator as a whole, if somebody comes to I'm going to test you now for next week. Are you ready? So if somebody's going to come to the Startup Valley and they're going to say, hey, Kaush Force, I saw, that's his handle, by the way, Kaush Force. I don't know if you can see that. Kaush Force, they're going to say, what do you really need out of the incubator, and are you getting it?
Right. So the biggest thing that incubator gets, I think there are two things I would say. The two main things. So
from your perspective.
From my perspective, one challenge that we had was as a product company, as a small product company, was market exposure.
Speak up, man.
As market exposure. So basically, for us, when we build the analytics application on the Salesforce platform, for us to reach out to customers, we had to partner with the Salesforce channel and take that route. But as you know, Einstein Analytics is fairly young product, and the adoption is gradually increasing. So market exposure was one of the challenges that we had, and I think being part of the incubator is helping with that. Like, more people know about us, and with positioning at Trailhead DX and hopefully at Dreamforce as well, we are hopeful that more people would learn about our product. Right. So that's one thing. But the other thing was we were trying to build something that is more predictive and prescriptive. And as part of the incubator, it's been 8 weeks, so we're still part of it, still learning, but we have been exposed to resources that we wouldn't typically have access to from outside. Yeah. So, I mean, even though I was Salesforce, I have my own contacts. but this takes it to the next level. Like we have met with product manager from the different components on the Einstein side.
Absolutely.
We have worked, we got a chance to chat with the customer experience people who kind of, even though we are not there yet, but they kind of gave us, if I can say, a roadmap on how to build that customer experience journey down the line when we have tens or hundreds of customers. So those kind of things, of course, you can learn anything. But I would think that it being part of the incubator is compressing the time frame for us in building the product, getting exposure,
Right.
and then it's like we are being featured at Trailhead DX. So
There's a learning curve, there's an adoption curve, and you're like in sixth gear.
right, and the other part is use case validation. So what we are building, we get to talk to different people within the company, and we get feedback.
Yeah.
Right, so that's
Like me.
Absolutely. So that's, yeah, this is not going to work. Maybe you should do it this way. Kind of that helps. It would be like going out and working on your own and learning things on the job versus taking a training course and learning from other people's mistakes and then not doing those mistakes. So it's that kind of value that I think Incubator is bringing to us.
Perfect.
And it's just 2 months into it. We still have 3 more months, so I'm pretty excited what this is doing for us.
Kaush, thanks for joining us this week.
Okay.
You can find Kaush on Twitter at KaushForce.
All right.
You can find me if you're interested at Gizmo Force.
All right. Force all around.
And we are just all force. And yes, join us next week for our weekly installment live from Trailhead No, not Trailhead. Is it called Trailhead? What is the conference called?
Trailhead X or Trailhead DX.
Yeah,
The
okay.
D is common.
I'm not in marketing, ladies and gentlemen, so please give me some slack. Next week at the DX conference, special guests, all kinds of good stuff. We'll see you then. Thanks.